What if I told you that in the quiet fields just north of London, something massive is rising, and it could change the face of European entertainment forever? Sounds impossible, right? But Universal just confirmed it. $1 billion vision. Before we dive into the details, hit that subscribe button, because today we're going beyond the rides, beyond the concept art, and straight into a cultural revolution in the making. For centuries, Europe has been the birthplace of epic tales, knights and dragons, kings and empires, Shakespeare and Tolkien. Its landscape is dotted with castles carved from stone and legends carved into memories. But oddly, despite the continent's deep ties to storytelling, it's never had a castle crafted by Hollywood's hand. No Hogwarts with real fire-breathing dragons. No Jurassic World echoing with the roars of prehistoric giants. No Universal stronghold bringing Hollywood's grandest illusions to life. Until now. Nestled in the tranquil, rolling countryside of Bedfordshire, just 35 minutes north of London by train, a revolution is quietly preparing to rise. Universal has selected a 476-acre stretch of green English earth to become the canvas for its boldest European chapter. This isn't a rumor whispered through fan forums, it's real, it's signed, it's coming. Universal Studios Resort UK is happening, and it's set to become the most ambitious theme park project Britain has ever seen. But this isn't just about roller coasters and photo ops. This is a full-scale reinvention. A reinvention of how Britain views theme parks. Of what it means to host global entertainment on UK soil. Of how tourism, infrastructure, and cultural identity can evolve in the 21st century. Universal isn't simply building rides, it's building a new reality. One that places the UK at the forefront of immersive storytelling, right alongside Orlando and Osaka. The decision to break ground in Bedfordshire wasn't made overnight. For more than a year, Universal quietly sent scouts, analysts, and strategists to pore over the landscape. Teams of environmental engineers, urban planners, economists, and transportation experts combed through every inch of potential and possibility. Every elevation line on the map was studied. Every traffic pattern is modeled. This wasn't hopeful ambition, it was calculated precision. $1 billion chess move to transform a sleepy patch of English countryside into a new epicenter of global fantasy. Behind the scenes, Universal also entered delicate negotiations with local and national officials, hammering out the logistics of transport upgrades, environmental impact assessments, and long-term economic ripple effects. This wasn't just about thrills, it was about legacy. Jobs, housing, community, sustainability, and most of all, vision. Then came the moment fans had been waiting for, the unveiling of the first concept art. Though labeled preliminary and subject to change, it immediately sent shockwaves across the theme park community, because even in its early strokes, the art didn't just show infrastructure, it revealed intention. If construction stays on track, 2031 will mark more than an opening, it'll mark a shift. For the first time ever, European theme park fans won't have to cross an ocean to experience the scale, the spectacle, because this park won't just compete with Disney's Parisian Outpost. The site lies directly along a high-traffic commuter corridor just 35 minutes north of London by a train. Not an hour, not a day trip, just enough distance to feel like an escape, but close enough to make it effortless. Universal isn't just building a resort, they're engineering a ritual. A new type of weekend getaway, a reliable footfall of millions. And the infrastructure is already responding. 2 major rail developments are in the pipeline, each purpose-built to accommodate the tidal wave of guests expected to arrive once the gates swing open. First, a complete resurrection of the dormant Kempston Hardwick station, transforming a forgotten rail stop into a fully integrated portal. Then there's the Wixham station, now under active construction on the Midland Main Line, a critical artery that links London to the north. When these 2 stations come online, they won't just serve the park, they'll anchor it. These won't be suburban pit stops, they'll be thematic thresholds. Guests will arrive not through parking lots, but through cinematic transitions. Trains to rides, commute to dream, reality to magic. But geography alone didn't seal the deal. This land was chosen for its potential, its malleability. Once a patchwork of underused parcels and agricultural stillness, this slice of Bedfordshire is now a blank canvas of economic ambition. Universal isn't just building rides here, they're building jobs, infrastructure, hospitality, commerce. And by 2055, their projections say it could generate £50 billion for the UK economy. That's more than a resort, that's a legacy. This land will no longer be seen as just fields and fences, it's been reborn into a cultural and economic launchpad, because what Universal is building here isn't a park, it's a platform. If you zoom into the concept, it's like flipping open the first page of a graphic novel. The more you look, the more it reveals. What at first appears to be playful scenery quickly transforms into a living storyboard of cinematic nostalgia and bold creative ambition. Starting in the bottom left quadrant is a classic American plaza, low-ride facades, 1950 storefronts, and at the center, a striking clock tower straight out of cinema history. Fan theories are already flying. Could this be Hill Valley, the iconic set of Back to the Future? The resemblance is uncanny, but there's more. Rumors suggest a high-speed launch coaster might anchor the area, hitting the famed 88 miles per hour and triggering a blast of time-bending special effects. If true, it wouldn't just be a tribute, it would be a resurrection. Now pan right, and the tone shifts from nostalgia to pure animated chaos. Bold primary colors, tilted rooftops, and those unmistakable goggles, Minions have arrived. The architecture here mirrors Minion Land from Universal Studios Beijing almost beat for beat. There's the Illumination Theater, rumored to host a live Sing stage show, along with Super Silly Funland, a water play zone dotted with whimsical carnival rides. And anchoring the area, the Mayhem Ride, an immersive 3D dark ride that plummets guests into the mischievous heart of a Minion experiment gone wrong. Every surface is loud, every turn is unpredictable. This isn't a stroll through a themed area, it's a sprint through a banana-fueled fever dream. But if you peek behind the brightly colored chaos, things get murky, in a good way. A silhouette of a twisted tower, a green-tinted forest canopy, and turrets that look suspiciously ogreish. Could it be Shrek? Fans believe so. Universal has kept quiet, but architectural hints in the concept art, like a winding river that could double as a lazy log flume, have set rumor mills ablaze. Then your eyes are drawn to the back. Towering, angular, and unmistakably modern. A massive indoor facility dwarfing anything else on the map. From the outside, it's nondescript, but its scale and positioning suggest something colossal, literally. All signs point to Jurassic World. Perhaps it's a reinvention of the Shanghai or Beijing dark ride, where guests board gyrospheres and navigate through genetically re-engineered chaos. But with a new Jurassic movie due for release this summer, it's also possible Universal is cooking up something never seen before. Something that blends cinematic spectacle with next-gen ride technology. Animatronics? Holograms? Full motion simulation? The mystery is part of the allure. But right in the middle, like the nucleus of this creative organism, sits the Hollywood-themed Main Street. Designed with sweeping Art Deco lines and Golden Age glamour, this isn't just a thoroughfare, it's a love letter to filmmaking. Think. Indoor shopping arcades glittering with neon, themed restaurants where every booth is a film set, and a central theater rumored to double as both a real live entertainment venue and a nighttime projection spectacular stage. There's talk of augmented reality glasses for guests to overlay scenes on the buildings around them, making the street come alive in ways no theme park has done before. But make no mistake, this is no cut and paste park. It's a remix. A remix of Universal's greatest hits, filtered through a uniquely British lens. Imagine Hill Valley intersecting with Hogwarts charm, minions crashing into Shakespearean humor, and dinosaurs roaring against the rolling hills of Bedfordshire. Every themed land bleeds seamlessly into the next, not with abrupt transitions, but with architectural storytelling. The texture shifts, the music changes, even the landscaping is telling a story, scene by scene. This isn't just a park to visit, it's a park to explore like a novel, chapter by chapter, story by story. And if the concept art is any indication, Universal Studios Resort UK isn't just building attractions, they're building mythology. One brick, one Easter egg, and one fandom-fueled rumor at a time. Building a theme park of this scale is never just about rides and roller coasters, it's about rewiring the DNA of the land itself. And in the UK, where history lies beneath every stone, and regulation shapes every brick, this challenge is on a different level entirely. Universal isn't just building attractions, it's engineering a new ecosystem. To break ground in Bedfordshire, they had to first navigate a bureaucratic labyrinth that spans local councils, environmental agencies, and transport authorities. Zoning laws in the UK aren't flexible, especially in regions with ecological and historical significance. Some of this land was once earmarked for low-density development and greenbelt preservation. That had to change, and changing it meant rewriting the map. Universal began the process quietly, but strategically. Letters arrived at local doorsteps in early 2024. Not just updates, but invitations to shape the future. Behind those letters were stacks of environmental impact assessments, mapping everything from air quality to bird migration. Noise studies, flood risk modeling, traffic simulation reports, every inch of the resort had to be justified not just as a dream, but as a responsibility. Then came the raw construction. Unlike the firm, dry soil of Florida or California, Bedfordshire's terrain brings with it an ancient, shifting foundation. Layers of clay and chalk can warp under pressure, especially in wet seasons. To prepare the land for towering steel superstructures, engineers are deploying deep soil mixing techniques, reinforcing ground up to 30 meters deep to ensure the park's foundation remains stable for generations. Flooding is another beast altogether. With the river Great Ouse nearby, seasonal water tables can spike dramatically. To combat this, civil engineers are considering elevating entire park zones on reinforced platforms. Drainage systems will be reimagined from scratch, weaving smart water control into the bones of the park itself. And that's just the ground. The resort's infrastructure reads more like a small city than a theme park. Power grids capable of running thousands of lighting rigs, refrigeration units, ride systems, and nighttime spectaculars must be laid from scratch, with backup contingencies to prevent outages during peak seasons. Fiber optic networks for guest services, security, and interactive tech will crisscross the park underground. But perhaps the most intricate piece of the puzzle? Access. The site isn't just off the beaten path, it's being reconnected to the UK. Universal is coordinating with Network Rail to revive the dormant Kepston Hardwick station and construct the long-promised Wixham station. These stations must integrate with existing rail timetables while absorbing the estimated 11 million guests expected annually. New access roads and dedicated shuttle loops are also in development, designed to prevent traffic bottlenecks on the A6 and M1 corridors during peak holiday weekends. All of this while ensuring carbon compliance, visual harmony, and universal level showmanship. Behind the scenes, there's a symphony of architects, geotechnical consultants, planners, hydrologists, and ride engineers, each working in perfect synchrony. It's not just construction, it's choreography. And they're racing the clock. Because Universal isn't aiming for a vague someday. They've committed to opening gates by 2031. That means plans must be finalized by 2026, steel in the ground by 2027, and test runs well before the first guests arrive. A delay by even 1/4 can ripple across the entire project. The dream is massive. The execution, even more so. But if they pull it off, this won't just be the UK's biggest theme park. It'll be one of the most technically advanced entertainment destinations on Earth. For the first time, the United Kingdom won't merely be a backdrop for Hollywood fantasies. It will become a co-author. Universal Studios Resort UK marks a seismic shift in the entertainment landscape, a move from passive consumption to active creation. It's the moment the UK stops being a stage and starts becoming a studio. And the question that's quietly circling boardrooms and buzzing across Reddit forums, will the park include local intellectual property? Universal hasn't officially confirmed it, but signs are quietly pointing toward yes. The possibilities are electric. Imagine stepping into 221B Baker Street, solving mysteries with a fully interactive Sherlock Holmes dark ride, or wandering the gothic halls of Downton Abbey where immersive dining meets Edwardian drama. Even whispers of BBC collaborations from Doctor Who to Peaky Blinders are floating through industry chatter. These aren't just dreams, they're assets, and Universal knows it. Because why cater to tourists when you can weave the local culture into the experience itself? This isn't cultural appropriation, it's cultural partnership, a fusion of American spectacle and British soul. And that synergy? It sells. Not just tickets, but a new narrative of what British entertainment can become on the global stage. But this shift isn't just artistic, it's economical. It's gravitational. 8.5 million visitors are projected in just the first year. To put that in perspective, that's more than the annual foot traffic of the Tower of London, Stonehenge, and Edinburgh Castle combined. The local economy won't just be boosted, it will be recalibrated. Over 20,000 construction jobs will rise with the steel beams. Another 8,000 permanent roles will populate the resort when it opens. From performers to engineers, hospitality staff to media techs, the talent pool will deepen and diversify. Bedfordshire, once a quiet ribbon of farmland and modest commuter towns, is being reshaped, not just physically, but psychologically. It's no longer the outskirts of something else. It's becoming the epicenter of an entertainment renaissance. But if you really want to understand what this resort means, don't just look at the rides. Look at the art, the silhouettes, the intent behind every digital brushstroke and the concept renderings. Because what you're seeing is more than blueprints and theme facades. You're seeing a pivot. Universal could have chosen anywhere. Spain, with its weather, France with its tourism infrastructure, Germany with its economic stability, but they didn't. They chose Britain. The Britain that is still navigating the aftershocks of Brexit. Britain is recalibrating its position in the global economy. A Britain that, until now, was seen more as a custodian of history than an architect of fantasy. So why here? Because in every age of uncertainty, there are moments when confidence returns. Not quietly, but with spectacle. And this resort is exactly that. It's a bet. On tourism, on storytelling, on Europe's hunger for cinematic worlds that just aren't imported, but but homegrown. It says that Britain can be both Hogwarts and Hollywood, that it doesn't have to choose between heritage and reinvention, that a nation steeped in castles and cathedrals can still build dragons, robots, and velociraptors and make them feel just as sacred. Universal Studios Resort UK is scheduled to open in 2031, but its legacy starts now. Right now, construction fences are going up. Right now, engineers are charting the land. Right now, train stations are rising, letters are being mailed, and governments are drafting new economic forecasts around a park that doesn't even exist yet. But it will. And when it does, it won't just be another attraction, it'll be a shift. A gravitational pull for creatives, for tourists, for industries who once saw Britain as a stage, but never as the spotlight. So now, the question isn't if it'll succeed, it's how big it'll become. Would you visit the first ever Universal Studios resort in Europe? And which land are you hoping to see when the gates finally open? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching this video with us, and catch you in the next one.